Greetings, everyone, and welcome to The Spirit Side, Journey Towards the Light. I'm your host, Paul James Caden, and joining me this week on the show is author, teacher, and hypnotherapist Steve Murray. He was on my show before talking about contacting spirits and Reiki, and now I'm very pleased and happy to have him back talking about his new endeavors as a hypnotherapist. He's been doing that for quite some time, but he has a new website. You were just telling me what it was, Steve. Welcome to the podcast once again. And
Paul, it's hypnotherapy-heal.com. Hypnotherapy-heal. Hypnotherapy-heal.com. And the site is my new endeavor, but I've been a hypnotherapist you see my diploma on there for like over 25 years. But if I'm getting back into it, the reason being, as we talked before, I'm getting up there. Want to give back. I'm going to be 71, and I have a 4-year-old I'm helping raise too. So he's going to preschool pretty quick in a couple months. I need something to get back into helping people help themselves. And as we talked before the show, hypnotherapy, hypnosis is actually hypnotherapy. So it's all the same. It accesses your subconscious mind, and I was talking about the kids. Everything's in your subconscious mind, and with raising my son, he's my first child at 70, or actually I'm raising, and I notice I've always taught you're created what happens the first 7 years of your life, and I never had kids. I always believed that with the clients I had, but so everything's formed when you're under 7 years old, good or bad or indifferent, and it's lodged, I believe, in your subconscious mind. And when you get forward as adults in life, you sometimes regress your childhood, or if you've been, the classic, if you're abused when you're a child, you bring that forward and you have bad behavior as you get an adult, and you need to unlock that. So anyway, I'll stop right there. But so the site just put it up. So I could take some clients each week, and it's for people if you have phobias or bad habits, childhood issues, all that stuff that I believe is in your subconscious mind, and I help you access it because if you need to change, and it's buried in your subconscious mind, you got to know what it is, and you need to raise it to your conscious mind. If you know what the problem is, you can change it. So I'll just stop right there, and sometimes I get too quick. So go ahead, Paul. If you got a question, or I gave you a lot of content in the first 3 or 4 minutes.
That's all right. Yeah, one of the things I wanted to ask you is that on your site, it says you're a contemporary hypnotherapist, and that you do a lot of the work with imagery. So, is your technique different from other hypnotherapists that would use like the
that's
suggestions?
A good point. Thank you for bringing that up. Yeah, I blend the two. So hypnotherapy, being under hypnosis, it regresses you back. You can lock secrets. I call them secrets or behavior in your subconscious mind. And I use a lot of imagery. So imagery is seeing things in your mind. So I combine both. They're not the same, but I combine, hypnotherapy. Sometimes people will see things, but I try to guide them with imagery too. So it's a dual type thing, and I found out it's most the strongest for the best effects outcome. So that way people could visualize their child, when they were 4 or 5 years old or 7 years old, or maybe something happened when they were 20. So I tried to visualize them, have them visualize where they were at that time, and then get them regress them. So it's a procedure. So most hypnotherapy just do take a deep breath. You're going deeper and deeper. So I just try to use imagery, and it's called guided imagery.
Right.
And some people call it visualization. So again, guided imagery and visualization is probably one and the same. But when you combine with hypnotherapy, hypnosis is very powerful, very powerful. It works a lot quicker. So so that's again, I just combine both, and a lot of people that have been trained over the years, and I think the new teachings might use that. But like I said, I've been a hypnotherapist for many, many years, and they usually don't teach that in hypnotherapy with the guided imagery. But with my background, I've always used a lot of imagery with the stuff I've done before as an author, and with even cancer-guided imagery, which we'll talk about later. So the imagery is very powerful, and hypnotherapy is very powerful. Because again, I think everything. And before the show, we were talking about about everything's in your subconscious mind. So usually, when people come up with a challenge, something holding them back in life, or they have emotional problems, it's a cliche. It is a cliche, but usually it happens in their childhood. And I'd say 7 times out of 10, or maybe more. And when things happen in people's childhood, something could happen to me where my parents got divorced, and I'm okay. I go forward. But some other people get a divorce in their life, and it harms them. So it's a emotional challenge, as I could say. It's a root cause. So everything affects people differently. Again, a parent dies, somebody gets over it in a year or two, and a parent could die and it could take them 7 or 8 years and they never get over it. And so with hypnotherapy, you usually regress the person back to the time when it happened so they understand it. And as I speak before, I've regressed people back to the womb. And people say, how can you do that? And well, I'll take them back, and they could actually sense their mother being beaten, or they were thinking about getting an abortion, or so. In the child, it's not a child when they're in my office. They're adult. They actually have that emotional baggage from that, and people say, well, that's impossible. Well, the thing is, when you're in your mother's womb, everything is in her blood. So all the hormones. If she's angry, if she's stressed out, she's happy, all those hormones are in her bloodstream, and it goes straight to the baby, the fetus, or the baby. And it senses those chemicals. So they sense everything the mother senses, the baby senses. So if you don't believe the baby actually hears what's going on, they sense it through the blood. But again, once people understand that, and the people I regress that way, they've actually seen their mother talking about getting an abortion, and or a couple times where they were actually being beaten, abusive situations. So, and what happens then, once they realize that, when they're in hypnosis with the imagery, they can see it's not their fault, and they can see what's been blocking them for 20, 30, 40 years of their life, and they can release it. And again, once you understand what's going on and the root cause, we call it root cause, you can change. And change is what it's all about. I mean, change is very difficult for most people. I mean, even myself. It's very challenging. But again, if you know what you have to change, it gives you heads up. So a lot of people come in, or when I talk to them, they're emotional, they're sad, depressed, or they even have some physical, because physical problems, emotional, the last place things, if you have emotional challenges, stressed out, whatever, it resonates, it manifests in the physical body. So a lot of people have physical problems. They don't know where. They go to the doctor. The doctor says, well, I can't find a physical problem for us, so, it's in your mind. Well, you know what? It is in their mind, but it's in their subconscious mind. So that's what I do. So at this late, and I'm not a late age, but at this age, I'm going to come back doing what I started 25 years ago, and because I know it's very powerful, it helps people help themselves. And I just want to give back. Somebody has a challenge, and they could be 50, 40, 30. Maybe they have self-defeating behaviors. So there's many things hypnotherapy could help a person. And it all depends what's in their subconscious mind. In the subconscious mind, everything that's happened to you, I believe, and they've proven it's in your subconscious mind. It's registered. It's a memory. It's a memory. You could call it a memory. And most of the time, when people are ready for therapy, any type of therapy, hypnotherapy, any type of therapy, they're ready for it. Something's coming up from their subconscious mind to the conscious mind, because a lot of times the subconscious mind will hide something from you, the root cause, because you're not ready to deal with it. So a lot of stuff is hidden in the mind. So I've had people, when we hypnosis, where a lot of things they forgot comes up. So my grandmother died, or when I was 7 or 8, that was very traumatic, and I never got over that. So, but everybody's unique in a sense, different situations. And what's another unique, what's a root cause or a block for me might not be a block for the other person. So everybody's different in their life journey. But again, I'm back to hypnosis because I know for a fact that will help people help themselves. It's a very good tool. And so anyway, I'm on a roll. Go ahead.
Right. Yeah. The thing with hypnosis, hypnotherapy, there's a lot of people that still have a lot of those old stigmas and superstitions, that
Oh yeah.
they're going to get stuck in hypnosis. They're going to be in a state where they have no control, and the hypnotist is going to tell them to do some outlandish or dangerous thing, or, even like some, religious folks say, well, when you're hypnotized, you're a blank slate. Your consciousness is totally passive, so you could get these, invading entities, there's all kind of superstition around hypnosis.
That's true. I mean, but hypnosis is not that. I've never found that. I mean, I guess I've never come across it, and I've read about it. Maybe if somebody is maybe mentally unbalanced, whatever that be, mentally, they could be susceptible to something like that. But nobody, you get when you get under hypnosis is basically like meditation. You're in a relaxed state. That's it. In a hypnosis, the hypnotherapist guides you through that relaxed state. It's like being guided through a meditation, and you're going to get as hypnotized, as relaxed as you want to be. And because you could always come out of. I mean, once you go under hypnosis or relaxed state, you know what's going on. You're just relaxed, and you're going to get as relaxed as you feel comfortable with, and you can always come out of it. I mean, it's not like so all that those old horror movies. I think Lon Chaney, where they get looking at Dracula. That's not true. So hypnosis. I mean, if that was the case, I think our legal system for that way, hypnosis. There's no such thing as anybody committing a crime under hypnosis. I mean, that's already been passed in the law for. So, but you get as relaxed. In fact, I tell people they keep their eyes open if they want, and get as relaxed as they want to get, and there's no right or wrong, and people will get as relaxed as they need to get, and it's never an issue. It's never an issue. So it's not a scary thing. Like I said, just like again, hypnosis. It's like we've all been there. You're driving in the car or doing something. Let's just drive in a car and you think about something you need to do. And it's like, and you pass the off ramp. In other words, you say, well, I wasn't thinking, but you were like in a state for 3 or 4 seconds, maybe 5 seconds where you were thinking about something else and everything else was at a standstill. So, I mean, you still function. You still, you still could act and do things normally. So it's not a, it's a therapeutic state. So it's not, it's nothing to be scared of. I mean, you can always, when I work with a client, you keep your eyes open, keep it closed, you get as relaxed as you want to do. So, and hypnosis also, so, I've never found that. I've heard old movies and stuff like that. It's a good plot line, you have to go rob a bank or but it's never, that's not, and that never happens.
No.
Now you see even the stage acts. Those people know what's going on. You see I'm in Vegas. They have those hypnotic apps, hypnosis acts, and people do funny things, but they know what they're doing. In fact, before they do this show, they get a group of people and they interview them, make sure who wants to be a star. They'll actually say that, but they get a group of 30, 40 people, and the 10 people that really follow the orders or the directions, they'll get on the stage and. But it's all a show. It's all a show. Well, those people are just relaxed as they want to be and doing what they want to be.
Yeah,
because they wouldn't even be on the stage with the hypnotherapist if they didn't do what they wanted to do. The performer, I guess you'd say, the performer, hypnotherapist, the stage show.
Yep. Yeah, they say I'm certified as a hypnotherapist myself, and. As I was told, they said the people that do those kind of things on stage are the kind of person that would dance naked with a lampshade on their head with no inhibitions at a party. They like all the attention, they have.
Yeah, no, exactly. It gives them a platform to be a star. Yeah, and they interview those people. So but it's a good show. And actually, there are people that are more susceptible to get more relaxed. So the best people I like to work with throughout my life is the person would come in and say, okay, you can't hypnotize me, Steve. Forget about, I'm here, but I'm doing it because I want to stop smoking or, I'm scared of flying or something. I got a phobia. I say, okay, I don't have problems with that. You don't have to be hypnotized. And those people that I've worked with are the ones that really go through the hypnotherapy really well. I mean, when I say they're out, they're really relaxed. So they get really, really relaxed. And so those people I like to have because we can't hypnotize. They say, no, I can't hypnotize you. Nobody, that's what we forgot this before. Nobody can hypnotize anybody. You can only hypnotize yourself.
Yep.
I mean, so I can't hypnotize. I can help you get into that state. And again, those people that I have as clients, they're usually the best because they go under, when I say under, in the deep relaxed state rapidly. So that's interesting. So, once they say I can't hypnotize, nobody can hypnotize, just okay, that's fine with me. So, but anyway, it's a process. And again, some people that have maybe some emotional, say a term, maybe a bad accident or something, it might take them 2 or 3 sessions to get over it, and some people might take 1. So some people do shift faster than others. And it could be on the hypnotherapist too. I mean, how good they are, what they're doing, because a lot of times what I'll do with the clients is we call it, if you said I do parts therapy. So, which is part of hypnosis and imagery. And the parts therapy is like, take a person wants to lose weight. They got a person inside them that wants to lose the weight, of course. That's one part of them. And they got the other person inside them that wants to stay heavy, keep eating. So we always have an inner conflict, and usually parts therapy during hypnosis will take care of that, or you'll find out if you have somebody that's relaxed state and they're in, again, when they want to lose some weight because of health reasons, the doctor to lose weight. And if I talk to that person, that part of them that wants to lose the weight, they say, yeah, I want to lose it. And I'll say, well, how about the other person? I'll talk to the other part of them. And I'll say, no, I don't want to. And then that's when you got to find out why the part of them that doesn't want to lose the weight, why did they not want to lose weight? So that's when you start working on the regression, the issues, okay. And that's usually I start the parts therapy because, so there's different techniques, and you can do, childhood, sometimes called soul retrieval. But, a lot of work goes to a person's, I do a lot of work with people in their childhood, abandonment issues, abuse issues, and because that sticks with them. It's programmed in their subconscious mind throughout their life, and it causes problems. And ultimately, it will, most of the time, will cause physical problems, because if you're stressed out and emotional, your body breaks down, and stress, anxiety, and all that stuff dovetails. It's all root causes: anxiety, stress. So in your subconscious mind, we'll call it the root cause. Whatever challenge you need to release that and overcome that, or just change that, shift that. That's the easy way: shift it and understand it. And so it's because again, if you go to the doctor, you get a physical doctor say it's in your feet. Let's do all these tests are great. So hypnotherapy is just something. It can't replace medical treatment, of course, but it's good to use it with medical treatment as what's the word I'm looking for? In conjunction with medical treatment, yeah. So it's good to have that. Even when you go into surgery and stuff like that, and hypnotherapy will help you. So anyway, let me stop right there. So hypnotherapy is very good for a lot of things. A lot of things to help you.
Yeah, I think it's good too. For that mind-body connection. Like you said, it's not a replacement for medical treatment, but yet you hear stories where sometimes, just the strangest things have happened. Like a friend of mine, when I was growing up, his grandfather, he wasn't a hypnotherapist, but he was a hypnotist. He knew how to hypnotize people. I don't know where he learned it, or anything of that nature. But he told the story when he was younger. There was a friend of his that had terminal cancer, and he was in the hospital, and he was getting worse and worse. And the doctors, said he's, probably got a day or two. He's pretty much on his way out. And my friend's grandfather went in, and he was still coherent enough where he hypnotized him, ran him through whatever he was going to run him through, that he was happy and healthy, and his body was fighting off this disease, he was pain free, et cetera, et cetera. And he said within 3 days his friend was healthier, better, discharged from the hospital, went home, and died of old age years later. So,
yeah, no, it's, and the doctors call that the placebo effect. But again, I've seen that. I know that it does happen, and it goes back to if it was a good hypnotherapist or hypnosis, like you said, hypnotist, the guy released all his stress, anxiety, and maybe he was at one. But yeah, I mean, your body, again, your physical body reflects. So whatever the person did, he released some conscious mind, whatever fears he had, or be healthy. Visualize yourself healthy and strong, and your body. Yeah, all that stuff works. All that stuff works, and they don't have an answer now. Again, doctors, you need doctors. I got that, but again, it comes a time where basically you might need some additional help, and because when it gets to the point where all the doctors could do is to give you medicine and the surgery, you're on your own.
Yeah.
You're on your own. I mean, unfortunately. So, but again, all that stress and fear and anger, if you can find a way to get rid of that, and again, I'm not saying anything nothing new. It will manifest your physical body. If you relieve it, miracles happen. Exactly, miracles happen. So, and you could change, shift in an instant, but again, change is very difficult. So, I mean, that person you talked about, they changed, got rid of the fear, the anger, and visualize themselves happy and healthy. Yeah, it happens a lot, and a lot of times you don't read about it. I mean, you don't read it. A lot of stuff happens, and the doctors tell you about it. And again, so I don't know. It just works. Again, some people think it's a placebo effect because most medications, the placebo effect means something you think is something you think is going to heal or something is going to change. You think it's going to change. Positive thinking, placebo effect.
Mm. So
even a lot of medications, they give the test, and they'll say 30% placebo. If people got better, 30%, and they didn't get the drug, but they got better. They thought they were in a test. They got the drug, the test drug, whatever, and those people, 30-40% got well. So things shift. And hypnotherapy is a tool to help things shift. And again, it depends on the therapist. You get hypnosis to guide you, and it's a matter of trust too. Whoever you get to work with you, you have to have trust, like any doctor, or you have to trust them. And but again, hypnotherapy, I've never heard harm anybody. I mean, just like we talked about one year ago about Reiki and energy. I never heard of Reiki or energy work, Chi, I never anybody being harmed. I've never heard anybody being harmed by that energy work and or hypnotherapy. I've only heard good things. But again, I've been in the field for all these years, and I've seen things happen and experienced it. So I don't. It's a good tool. I mean, it's not for everybody, of course. If they have, you have to believe they have doubts. But again, if you get a good hypnotherapist to talk to them, they will not make you believe, but make you feel comfortable. So you'll be able to relax and let things happen, flow. Yes, let things change. And again, my point was, when people usually go to a hypnotherapist, usually they're ready to change. Like I said, I mean, it could be years or whatever, but usually they know the subconscious mind is releasing some information, so they're going to say, I need some help with this. And if they see a therapist, regular therapist, a psychologist or a psychiatrist, so yeah, when people start looking for help, they're ready, and they get information that's been buried in their past. So again, it's a tool, and I'm going to start doing it. Like I said, the last 4 or 5 years, or 4 years, I guess 4.5, I've been semi-retired. Semi-retired. Co-parenting my son. So now I have a lot of time, and I know this is the best way. I've written a lot of books on energy work, energy healing. Energy healing and Reiki and Chi, all that's good stuff. But that's your life force. And if you have good life force, but if something's buried in your subconscious mind, you're doing destructive behavior, so it's not going to work. All the Reiki or the energy, the mind, is not going to help you. I mean, you might have a healthy, but sooner or later, destructive behavior buried. So you got all that stuff goes hand in hand, and even the medical treatments. I mean, if you got a infection, you want the antibiotics, whatever the doctor, and again, you might have other issues. So all this stuff is good. So people should keep their options open with hypnotherapy, and that's why I'm back. I started the site, and because I found with the guided imagery, which you mentioned, thank you very much. That helps a lot too. So.
Yeah, it does. Imagination is a powerful thing. It definitely is. A lot of the old metaphysicians, who are into like the mental healing, they didn't use a lot of affirmations like you see, books like The Secret and things like this. It's all affirmation, affirmation. The metaphysicians of old, the mental healers of old, that, they would get into that relaxed state, and visualize. And they would tell their clients and the people that they were helping to do the same. And
Exactly.
it was very powerful. Those guys helped and healed a lot of people by teaching them that technique of just visualizing.
Yeah, no, so there's nothing new. You're 100% right. There's nothing new throughout the centuries. Visualization, imagery, all that stuff. It's nothing new, and it goes back to meditation. Get your mind and relax. So let me do this. So hypnotherapy and meditation, the same state basically. With hypnotherapy, you have hypnotist or hypnotherapist guide you to that state, help you. So if you're in a meditative state, you can do the same thing yourself. In fact, there is self-hypnosis. There's some people that are pretty good. They get themselves in a meditative state and they could regress themselves. It's very difficult. Again, it's like a lawyer defending themselves, a doctor operating themselves. So again, hypnosis, being in a meditative state, but somebody's leading you for what you need to know or what you need to look at or examine or, guide you through the process. So that's what basically hypnosis is. So you get in a nice relaxed state when you have a good therapist. Hypnotherapist guides you, takes you back to the age where you need to look at what's going on. It helps you with the memories. So that's basically it. And again, self-hypnosis, my teacher years ago, and one of my gurus, I guess you call it, because I've been around for a long time. I got a lot of books. And just like 30 years ago, I think she's still alive. But yeah, I can't remember. Geez, I should know her name. She wrote books. I could see her in my mind's eye. But anyway, it will come to me. Maybe it was 40 years ago, a long time ago. She said one thing. We had a class, and she was one of my best teachers. But and she says, and she was taught this by this master. I wasn't prepared for this. They were going back. Very famous. Her teacher was a very famous hypnotherapist. Very famous. And I could probably Google it. Anyway, she was taught, I'll get to the point, everything's hypnosis. Everything is hypnosis. Advertising, TV, everything. And what I mean by that, hypnosis is the power of suggestion.
Yep.
So if you're in a relaxed state, you're more susceptible for power suggestion. If you watch TV, everything, she said, if you forget everything else, and she was a good energy healer. She taught Reiki and psychic stuff, all that stuff. She was very good. Shelley, I see her now. Shelley, you know what? She's Shelley. I loved her, man. But anyway, she said everything's hypnosis, and what I mean by that, what she meant by that, she goes, it's all power of suggestion. Even with the energy healing, if you believe you're going to get energy from somebody, and you truly do, the power of touch, but you have to believe it. You believe it, it's all hypnosis. So hypnosis is suggestion. So we're being hypnotized. Okay, we go over by our politicians. We're being hypnotized 24/7.
Oh yeah.
Again, by suggestion. So we're in different states. If you're actually, that's why if you're watching movies or you're watching something, if you watch these political shows, the music in the background, you don't pay attention. A lot of times they'll be telling their thoughts. The music is really low. It's not, da da da. And if you watch an exciting movie, got the music going up. So everything is hypnosis. Everything is the power of suggestion. And with hypnosis, the power of suggestion with the right therapist can really help you help yourself. But yeah, everything's hypnosis. Everything.
It is.
But she taught me here, Shelley. Yeah, she taught, and years ago. And it took me like 20, 50. I really didn't understand what she said at that time. I look back. I mean, it took me 10 or 15 years ago after that, her teachings. So you know what? She's right. I mean, everything is suggestion. I mean, even self-hypnosis is suggestion. So everything's suggestion. So we could circle the wagon. So if everything's suggestion, hypnosis, we go back. The people you. Everything dovetails together. I start talking about everything is the people you hang out with, the politics you do, the church, all that stuff is hypnosis. So the people you associate with, which could be good or bad, I'm not being judgmental, but everything is giving suggestions 24/7, and so we go back to childhood. So if everything's hypnosis, suggestion, if you got a kid you're raising a kid, and up to 7 years old, they worship you. You completely control them. So every suggestion, everything you say, and this is good or bad. I mean, you tell the kid is no good, bad. That you're hypnotizing. You're suggesting the kid what he is, and kids they don't forget that. So anyway, so everything my favorite word today, dovetails. So everything is connected. All these therapies and so I don't know. Even the commercial suggestions. So I like the commercials for the for these new drugs. There's nothing wrong with drugs, but some drugs are life saving. They change, but then after the end of the commercial, they suggest they talk faster than I do. You can't understand them. By the way, they cause death. They cause death. You get paralyzed. They blah blah blah. Get paralyzed. Shit, man. That's the symptoms I have where I take the drugs. So they're suggesting that. So
yeah, that's when I get.
Yeah. So I mean, even depression is a physical thing. I've been depressed years ago, a long time ago. So it is so it is a physical thing. But again, yeah, hypnotherapy, self-hypnosis helped me with that. I had a good therapist, hypnotherapist helped me. So, but anyway, so that's what I'm doing now, Paul. So I appreciate, doing the hypnotherapy. I'm going to start doing some more, I guess you call it marketing, get out there, let people know that I'm doing now. My rates are pretty, I don't need, it's not about money. My rates are pretty reasonable. It's just, I got 10, 12 hours a week. And if I can help people help themselves, it's like giving back, I guess you could say. I know. And, because change is very powerful and change happens with hypnosis. So
right. So the last question, do you have any plans to do any books or videos where you teach your hypnosis technique or?
I thought about it. I just, probably the problem I have is as you get older, and it's another cliche, is time. I mean, before when I was a young man, I got 15 books and 20, 40 products, 40 videos, and heck, I got a couple things streaming on Tubi now. But yeah, I there was a period of my life where I knocked out like 12 books in 7 years. Anyway, I guess the point is I don't seem like the time anymore. I mean, it just, time goes by so quick. To write a book, we talked about before. We talked about a lot of things before the program. I guess I get the AI program, write the book. But to write a book, the research and stuff, it takes time. And I would like to teach hypnotherapy. I probably can. I have limited time. My son co-parenting. I get some other things happening, so it's limited time. So I probably won't. I would like for this. I'd like to if I find the time. But now it's just a one-on-one thing for me. But yeah, they got some good schools out there that teach hypnotherapy. There's some still good. So I probably answered your question. It took me 5 minutes to answer. Most likely not. I'll just do sessions with people. A few times, whatever I have available time during each week.
Right. Well, awesome. So anybody who's interested in having some hypnotherapy, I'm going to leave Steve's website below in the podcast description. And he's a good guy. He's competent. He certainly knows what he's doing. I learned a lot from Steve and his teaching programs over the years. Probably wouldn't be where I am now if it wasn't, for this guy right here. So I can definitely give him the, the 2 thumbs up, good human being, believes what he's doing. He does it well. So, check out his websites and, definitely.
Okay, thanks for I always, I'm glad I'm a good human being because sometimes, what's the definition of around time? What's the definition of a good human being? I guess probably just doing the right thing.
Yeah, none of us are perfect. I mean, I kind of, eat, breathe, sleep the spiritual life. It's been, just my greatest fascination and love for many years. But behind the scenes, I'm not always perfect. I get aggravated. I swear more than I should, and
So the good. So that's what I say. I sort of laugh at myself. So being a good human being is subjective. So what's a good human being? But I know what you're saying. I'm a good. So I take it as a compliment coming from you because I know what you mean. But again, is could be subjective. Yeah, I try to do the best I can. So again, I thank you for. I try to be a good person, help people help themselves, and I got a pretty good track record. You can look at my books, reviews on Amazon, and all that stuff. I get emails. I still get a lot of emails each day from people thanking me, but I don't let it go to my head because it's just, I'm just an instrument. I help people help themselves. That's all I can do.
Right.
But thanks, Paul. Yeah, you're right. I'm just being giving a hard time, but that is a good compliment coming from you.
Hey, anytime.
Okay.
So, folks, thanks for listening. And again, check out some of Steve's websites, his books, his videos, all good stuff. And thanks for coming on, Steve, and talking about this. Always a pleasure.
All right. Talk to you soon.
And everybody out there, take care, stay in the light, and I'll see you next time here on The Spirit Side.